Once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone who is present here today in our Zoom meeting. It's our pleasure to welcome you here. Together with IELTA India, let me warmly welcome everyone, all our guests from the Philippines, from India, from Malaysia. Good evening, Dr. Neil, and to all our IELTA board members and board IELTA officers. Good evening and welcome to this Zoom meeting, as well as, of course, to Dr. Kalyani and to our dearest guest speaker. So I will be posting some. Ma'am Kalyani, I'll share the screen.
Thank you. Just a minute. Let me start the introduction. So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. So, already I've been introduced by Miss Erika. I'm the country ambassador and also president of International English Language Teachers Association, India. So, on behalf of IELTA India, we warmly welcome all our IELTA board members, IELTA country ambassadors, IELTA members, and our honorable speaker, moderator, and as well as our distinguished guests of today for our webinar series number 9 is Gender Discourse, Prospective and Possibilities in International Sociolinguistics. So what is exactly this? The interactionist approach, that is socio-cultural theory, combines ideas from sociology and biology to explain how language is developed. According to this theory, children learn language out of a desire to communicate with the world around them. The languages emerges from and is dependent upon social interaction. So let us dive into today's session. Thank you. Can you make it into a slide mode, Erika? So this is our today's poster. Can we go to the next slide?
Hello, ma'am. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, I can see. Okay, it's okay, fine. So today's webinar agenda, it's just introduction of the moderator after this and instructions and rules. Before that, we share you the introduction and rules. IELTA International Board about details, and she's going to detail about Indian IELTA team. And then we're going to introduce our webinar speaker. Then webinar will start, then followed with the reflections, selfie time, don't miss it, and then Q&A session. Felicitations to the speaker and the moderator and the participants. And then announcements, followed by vote of thanks. Next screen. So these are the instructions. We generally request you all to and your role in the organization and the country you are representing, and keep your mic mute always. And while you log in, we just request you to be disciplined so that others should not get in trouble. And please share your thoughts, suggestions, and even questions in the chat box. We definitely will answer at the end of the program by our honorable speaker. And then we request you, the speaker also, we request you not to disturb with unnecessary, inquiries about participation certificate. Of course, participation certificate will be definitely posted in that link will be posted in the end of the program. And yeah, it's going to remain 15-20 minutes active, so that we request all the participants copy that link on your desktop, and then you can fill it before you leave the screen. So this is the thing. And yes, next screen, please. So I'm going to introduce the moderator. Screen is not moving. Yes, thank you. So today's moderator is a very young and energetic Miss Erika. She is from Philippines, and she's an international speaker. She's also participated many times, and she's also she's an IELTA student forum member, and currently she's working as a teacher. and she's a participant, and even she's a intern trainee of Suchana Global SDG Real Action Project for 2022 and 2023 also. And this has been done virtually, and she also received internship trainee award, certificate from us. Thank you, Erika. Over to you. We can close it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kalyani, for welcoming me here and for having me here as your moderator. It's my pleasure to be back in this line of, or in this field, after having such an experience with the Suchana. And from now on, of course, with the main highlight of our program, let us have Dr. Kalyani to introduce to us the IELTA International, or the International English Language Teachers Association, as well as the IELTA India. IELTA International, or the IELTA International English Language Teachers Association, is officially a registered association with the number 113877724. So we have a lot of countries. Can you see your country here? So we have almost 75, and we are a growing family. This is or these are the departments that we have. We have academic department, the teachers development department, the research development department, the learners development department, and the international affairs department. So, of course, meet our board of directors, starting with our president, Dr. Neil Arevalo Alcantara from Peru, Ms. Sola Abu Zaid from Lebanon, our vice president, Dr. Afshin Salhuddin from Pakistan, of course, our general secretary, and Dr. Glenn P. Cortesano from the Philippines. She is the academic department director, and Mr. Ebenezer Ozafo Aikens from Ghana, the International Affairs Department Director, and of course, Dr. Carlo Magno Sancho from Peru, our Administrative Department Director. So we have seven board members with a total strength of 78 people. So we are really growing. The IELTA India is really growing. And before I forgot, we have here links that you can fill it out later. Okay, so once you want to join the IELTA India, so we have our president, Dr. Kalyani Rao, our executive advisory board member, Dr. Danam, our executive advisory board member as well, Dr. Venkat, and we have here academic director training, Professor Raj, and our academic director, Dr. Ramkishan Bise. Our administrative director, we have Mrs. Lourdes Christina Michael, and of course, Mr. Vishnu Nair from IT and Technical Department, our technical director. So thank you, Dr. Kalyani. Now, since we have introduced to you the IELTA India and the IELTA Association, let me have this floor to introduce to you our distinguished guest speaker. So we have Dr. Shalini Yadav. She is a prodigious scholar, writer, columnist, and professor. With a doctorate and a career entrenched in academia, research, and literary circles, she has carved as an accomplished professional. Dr. Yadav has penned and edited 14 captivating books that traverse diverse subjects. Her magnum opus has earned her accolades, including Savitribai Phule Excellence Award and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Award. Dr. Yadav ardently participates in various capacities within the academic and literary realm. Her esteemed place on the editorial boards of international journals and magazines speaks volumes. Not only she crafts articles, poems, and short stories, but also graces the pages of esteemed newspapers. She graces conferences as a speaker and as a chair. With numerous publications in national and international journals, she is a research supervisor, steer scholars on their path to enlightenment. So, once again, let us all warmly welcome our guest speaker for today's session, Dr. Shalini Yadav. Dr. Shalini?
Thank you, Erika. Thank you for such a nice introduction. Good evening and good morning. Namaste to all present here. First of all, I would like to greet all IELTA members, global members, board members, president, vice president, general secretary, and Dr. Kalyani Rao, and the moderator of the session today, and all other members, audience who are in audience, August academicians, scholars, teachers, professors. Good evening or good morning according to your geographical areas. Uh, my today's topic is related to gender discourse. So I would like to request Erika to show the slides. So my today's topic is gender discourse, prospective and possibilities in interactional sociolinguistics. So here I'm going to talk about that what language is about and how it influences the gender discourse. So first thing is that language has the power to bridge gaps. It is a kind of mirror of a society, and it bridges the gaps between communities, between geographical areas. It resolves conflicts, it builds relationships, and it is kind of key that unlocks the doors of understanding, allowing us to share ideas, expresses our emotions, and we feel connected with others when we speak and when we express ourselves, and we connect with people at a deeper level by that. And we can say that language is the key of communication, and language is the foundation upon which human connections are built, and its significance cannot be overstated in our increasingly interconnected community, which is called global community nowadays. As this platform itself is symbolic of global community, that we all are from different geographical areas, different societies, different communities who speak different languages, and we all are connected on the platform of IELTA here. Can you please move to the next slide, Erika? Yeah, next. Next, yes. So here we can see that we all belong to different communities. Our dressing sense is different, our way of speaking is different, we speak different languages, and we belong to different cultures. So language is basically the universal thread that weaves human connections across the globe, and we transcend the boundaries, and we eradicate the cultural differences between us. Whether you are embarking next slide. Language is a socio-cultural geographical phenomena. There is a deep relation between language and society. Where you belong to, that society is reflected by its language, and it is the society that man acquires and uses language. When we study a language, that is a abstraction of abstractions, a system of systems, and we have to study it further. And there are some dialects, sociolects, idiolects, and genderlects, etc., inside the languages, inside the communities and broader communities. And apart from that, whether we are embarking on a journey, next slide, please. We are embarking on a journey abroad for studies. Here you can see this in this picture. What can you see in this picture? Please write in your chat box also about any one picture, one line. Write in the chat box about any one picture and what you perceive from the pictures. So whether you are embarking on a journey abroad for studies, or you are traveling abroad with your friends, or in your own country also to far places, or maybe you are exploring culinary skills or cooking classes you are taking, or maybe you are taking French classes, or whether world leaders like prime ministers of two countries are having a global meeting together, and they are forging alliances, or they may be having important dialogues and negotiations. Everything requires, or you may be having a business meeting or conference. Everything requires communication. Communication plays a big role, and for communication we need language. to speak, to express our ideas, what we have in our minds. Next slide. So language is basically that talks about our culture, our ethnicity, from which place we belong to as people, and what are our beliefs, or what is our tradition over there, how diverse our culture is, and we belong to which nation. And at the same time, it also involves some more factors. Can you name any one factor in the chat box, please? Any one factor which you feel that language involves in it, and it is reflected while we are speaking. Age, gender, our nation, our culture, education, what we have received, or our financial status and background. And there are various factors that which are involved in your when you are speaking, that is reflected through your language. Next slide. So language basically, when we are talking about that, it involves various factors. So here I have taken the factor of gender to highlight. So language reflects the difference and dominance of gender. When we are talking about here gender, I have taken two aspects here involving in this discussion. One is that grammatical genders, and another is two opposite binaries which we take as femininity and masculinity, which are regulated and well thought out by binaries. Gender plays a very important role in sociolinguistic studies. Sociolinguistics is basically a study which involves language and society both. So here the language is studied in the correlation with society, and that is a broader term, and inside that also there is one factor, that is gender. So we are studying language, society plus gender, all three together. Next. So sociolinguistics is a subdiscipline of linguistics which it studies language in different social contexts, including one status, nation, gender, age, or social class. So here we are studying language in relation with gender, and this is an interdisciplinary term. And it is used for studies of various disciplines such as anthropology, human psychology, philosophy, education, sociology, women's studies, and many more. Many linguists and theorists, socialists, feminists, they all have contributed invaluable insights into the study of gender discourse, such as Deborah Tennant, Judith Butler, Robin Lakoff, Simone de Beauvoir, or there are many more who have contributed in this in these studies, like Lebov, Trudgill, and many more. So when we are studying sociolinguistics, there comes a term gendered discourse. So gender discourse is used for observing that what kind of interaction is done between two genders, male and female, how male speakers speak or interact, and how female speakers speak and interact. So that is our next point, that how gender is reflected through language. Are you a man or you are a woman? So that that is also reflected through your language use, that how you use language and how you speak. There may be intonation patterns, speech patterns, the use of verb forms, the use of nouns. There are various ways that in which the gender is reflected through the use of language. Next slide. So male and female speakers' language utterances, when studied, linguists found that those are different at various levels. Even if you take single gender interactions or you take mixed gender interactions, you found that there are various linguistic factors which were involved in the study of gender in relation with language. Next. Linguistic distinctions, when we have talked about that these are two apart polars, like there is a book by John Gray, Men Are From Mars and Women Are from Venus. If everybody if somebody has read this book. So femininity and masculinity are two polars which are apart, and sometimes there is a distinction made in between those. And If you have mixed gender talk or if you have single gender talk, that is reflected that you belong to which gender. And if you have mixed gender talk, so one may be overpowering the other at times. It happens. And there are here the colors are also the colors are also showing that nowadays even changes are happening in the societies, in the communities all over the world. But yet it used to be like that the pink color is for girls and blue for boys. So like there is that some kind of distinctions were made earlier in the societies, and that was still prevailing. And but now gradually these things are being removed from the societies. Next. So linguistic distinction, when we talk about in context of male and female speakers language, many linguists, they have studied in several languages in context of gender, and they found that there are various evidences of gender exclusive language forms in those language forms. Grammatical distinction is made clear by male speakers and female speakers while constructing their sentences for conversations. This distinction was quite mandatory maybe earlier, but nowadays it is not mandatory. You can have non-sex items to use, and you can have gender neutral language to use. That is even more better. Such linguistic distinctions between verb forms depend on mindset, social practices of that particular society, community, or nation, and the principles of that, where men played more dominant role, and they used language also, which also tend to exhibit that thing, that dominance thing, consciously or subconsciously in the societies. Next. Like here you can see in this picture, I would like to interpret the picture by you in your own way. You can write one or two line about it in the chat box, that how you interpret the picture. There is an art gallery, one person has come to see, and there is like when we see these two, hammer or a brush, so we generally even if there is a small child, the small child will connect hammer with the boy and a brush with the girl. So the kind of distinction which is taught and which is prevailing in the societies and from a long time. So Furfe discussed about it, that there is the existence of difference and dominance between the uses of language forms. And this is not from now, this is from ages, and men and women were fully conscious about the use of separate language forms as differently categorized human beings because of their gender. That they are, that if they if there is a girl, so that is related to brush, and if there is a boy, that is related to the hammer, because that that reflects, that shows, that is symbol of power, and brush is symbol of softness and cleanliness. Next. So these kind of linguistic distinctions are made in various languages. Like I have taken one example here of my mother tongue vernacular and the English language. If I say that I'm going to home, how will I translate in English? I'm going to home is a gender neutral sentence. We don't have any feminine or masculine version of it. But we have in our Hindi mother tongue, there is two varieties, male and female versions of this. And मैं घर जा रहा हूँ, the verb form changes here, raha in male and rahi in female. Same, I am lifting it. So there also in male it is used मैं उठा रहा हूँ, but in female we will say that मैं इसे उठा रही हूँ. So such variations in verb forms, I feel that are prevailing in many languages. So if you have such kind of variations or distinctions between male and female use of language, so please translate this sentence in your own tongue, in your own mother tongue and your vernacular. I'm playing in the garden. How would you say this sentence in your own language? So please write the male or female version in this format, like write the translated sentence. In bracket, you please write male oblique female, whatever version you have chosen to write, and the language, whichever language you are choosing to write it in, Spanish or Japanese or French or Irish or English, so what, Australian, whatever language you are choosing to write, so write that. So if you want to just read it again, so the sentences, I am playing in the garden. So how would you say the sentence in your own language? Write the male or female version with language, that in which language you are writing. So write this in chat box. Change the slide, Erika. So linguistic distinction, if we talk about uses of verb forms and sentence structures by male and female speakers, have been seen distinctive at several levels. Phonological level, sound was different, raha and rahi, there was a different sound. Lexical level, it happens in French also. I don't know French. Yes, मैं बगीचे में खेल रही हूँ. Shobha Sharma has written this. Like in many languages it happens. In French, I don't know French very much, but my son is studying French, and he keeps on speaking at times when he's learning for his test. So there are phonological differences I can make out, there are lexical differences, morphological differences, which drew attention of many sociolinguists while studying about language and society in context of gender. So the way the different genders use verb forms and pronouns and structure their sentences, and how they pronounce the words, that gives the impression that female speakers are relatively more polite, gentle, soft-spoken, non-assertive, and empathic, according to Okamoto's studies. And he says that when he studied about young Japanese women, he studied that they are more polite, gentle, soft-spoken, and non-assertive and empathetic. Next slide. So language use is basically not completely dependent on linguistic factors only. It depends on the non-linguistic factors also, like we belong to which society, because or we belong to which culture or nation, or which area, geographical area. Because sometimes even if you use the same language, but you are living in a geographical area, a different geographical area, so there are dialects, there are sociolects, there are idiolects, there are genderlects, that is creating a difference. Unlike some, I will just give you one example here, that one American serviceman, no, some American servicemen, they were posted in Japan, and they were assigned one Japanese woman teacher over there, and that Japanese woman teacher was teaching them Japanese. So after the classes, when they used to use the language Japanese in front of other male speakers, native speakers, so they used to laugh on them, because they had more feminine kind of, you can say, features in their language rather than masculine. So that was there are various factors which are involving that, from whom you learned the language, from which culture you belong to, which society you belong to. These are the non-linguistic factors which also involve side by linguistic factors when you are studying language use in context of gender. Next slide. Now here, if we talk about feminine and masculine morphology, so can you tell me the what is this image? What is this picture about? Please write in your chat box. What is it in your own language? And write about it that it is a gender neutral word, or it is feminine, or it is masculine in your language. Because if we talk about it in English, it is a non-sex item. It is a gender neutral word. But if we talk about it in French, it is a feminine word. So I want you to write about it, that table is a feminine word in your language, or it is a masculine word. There are some more examples related to it, like if we talk about breast is a body part, female body part, but in Hebrew it is a masculine term. And if we talk about dress, we know that ladies generally use the word dress, but in Spanish it is masculine form of verb again. And form girl, if we say that Irish, in Irish, girl word, which is completely a feminine word, but in Irish it is a masculine word. Dress is neutral, maybe at many places, like a Frenchman's beard, it is a feminine word at various places. Russian water is feminine. If we talk about more grammatical gender of German cutlery, that is completely hilarious. If we talk about the knife, the German, they call it neutral. Spoon is, if we talk about India, we take spoon as a feminine form, but spoon is there, it is called masculine, and fork is called feminine. And but in Spanish it is vice versa. In Spanish, spoon is feminine and fork is masculine. So there are varieties, there are very different kind of use, and they treat the language, the word, in a different way in different societies, different cultures, and in when they speak different languages. So next slide, please. Like here also few more examples, like chocolate, in French it is a masculine form of word, and soup is in Arabic feminine, but here soup is not feminine in India. Give such two examples from your language. Write any two examples in the chat box from your language, 1 and 2, mark 1 and 2, and write that it is masculine or feminine, and the language also, that which language you are talking about. So write any two examples from your language, and any two words, and categorize them as masculine and feminine, and write the language also in the same format. Erika, next slide. So this was about grammatical genders. Now we are talking about traditional gender stereotypes, and how we differentiate the language use, that which is we call it feminine when it is non-aggressive, dependent. It sounds like easily influenced, submissive kind of tone, passive tone, or maybe homely vocabulary is used, or homely way of speaking is there, or the person is indecisive in interaction, the person is talkative, the person is gentle, cries a lot, emotional, tactful, verbal, and nurturing. So these are the qualities or features which are treated or categorized as feminine. And which are the features, linguistic features, which are treated as masculine? Aggressive, independent, not easily influenced by anybody, dominant, active, worldly, decisive, not very talkative, tough to handle, or hard nut to crack, we can say. Rarely the person cries, or very logical, or blunt, analytical, not nurturing. Even this is used, we can say that this is so much like in societies, it is so much inbuilt, that sometimes my son comes home from the ground, from the playground, in evening, and maybe he has some fight with his friends, and he's crying at that time. But my daughter will say him that, are you a girl, you are crying? Can't you behave like a strong boy? So this is what, these are gender stereotypes, and I did not teach them to behave like this, but the society itself is teaching them so many things. So this is what, that like we treat, we behave, and we use language in a way that how we perceive it from the society. Maybe she has learned it from her school, from her friends, and from anybody else. So this is what that we need to eradicate these kind of stereotypes, and we need to opt for gender neutral terminology in coming days. Next. So, what do you perceive from this picture in context of your society, your culture? Any incident, if you want to tell me, please write in the chat box. If you are, if you recall any such incident happened with you or your relative or your friend, or when you were in school, or maybe when you were in office, somebody cried like that, or however. So, any kind of incident like. Because the picture says that real men don't cry, but it is not like that. In this many lengthy talks and discussions and deliberations have happened at a global level. So this stereotype also has to be broken. Next. When we talk about genderlect, like other dialects, idiolect or sociolect, so there is a genderlect style of also of Deborah Tenen, and Deborah Tenen has talked about in the studies that when we talk about public speaking, women talk more than men in private conversations, and more men talk more in public conversations. But it is not all the time same, but these are the kind of generalizations which are prevailed in the societies, in the communities, and you can say carried forward further. But time is changing, women are changing, and girls are changing. Even pandemic, they have come out as more you can say powerful voices. Next slide. So here focus is that that language which we use. So while the language is used, women are seeking human connections through the language used, through the touch of the language, but men are concerned more about their status. Girl and women, uh, they try that they should be liked by their peers when they use the language. So they are more concerned about not using harsh language, or they will not try to hurt the sentiments of others. But boys and men, they are very straightforward, and they are very much focused on their work, and they preserve their independence. So here women are more focused on symmetrical connections, but men, they are more towards inclined towards asymmetrical status. They jockey for position on a hierarchical system for their competitive accomplishments, to see that they are doing good in jobs, whatever it takes. So they are not very much concerned about language in that way, that they want to please others. They are hardworking and they want to get their work done, either it is hurting the sentiments of others or not. Next slide. And there is one more factor involved when we talk about gender and social strata, like New York and Norwich, their Lebov and Rudgel, they studied and they talked about that women speakers are more inclined towards high status linguistic features, and men, they are okay with vernacular features of language also. Next. Here there are disparities in educational opportunities that also creates a linguistic distinction. Like the greater the disparities between educational opportunities for boys and girls, the greater the difference between male and female speeches. Like I would like to give here example of American ultra Orthodox Jewish communities, Arab community, and where in American ultra Orthodox Jewish community, boys, they opt for traditional schooling, and they opted for Jewish subjects, and they studied Hebrew. But so definitely they were more better in Hebrew than girls. But girls, they opted for secular studies, and they were better in English, because they opted for English. So there was a distinction that boys were more better in Hebrew use, and girls were more better in English use. So it depends that what kind of educational opportunities are given to you. That also creates a difference in your language use as a gender. Next slide. So this is all about power of stereotyping, that like if a poet is writing, a male poet is writing, or a female poet is writing, so that creates a difference. Next slide. Variation in linguistic patterns that reflect and perpetuates gender power imbalances. It also contributes to marginalization of women, because they are treated as more submissive voices. Their authority is undermined, their credibility is doubted, and that is all because of sometimes because of lack of educational opportunities, and that creates less job prospects also in future for them. Next. So there are when we have interactions, face to face interactions, the spoken quantity, interactional aids, what kind of interactional aids we are using, disruption and interferences, like we have like maybe, short of, I think, these kind of phrases and qualifiers, complimentary phrases we use. Wow, you are looking beautiful, awesome. These are used more by women, and they are treated as feminine kind of linguistic features. Apprehension, also, like that is more connected. Nervousness is fearless, is more connected with anxiety is more connected with women. Next slide. So here, when we talk about gender discourse through electronic media, so electronic media like email, conferencing, social networking platforms, and Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, they're all people are sharing their ideas a lot nowadays, and cultures and genders and taste are shared, and that is encouraging more democratic participation overall, if we say, and that is connecting people also a lot. And I would like to say that I would like to add here that when we talk about that this emergence of technology, and the active participation of Gen Z, generation Z, also is anyhow promoting more gender neutral terminologies in the societies, in the communities. Next slide. This picture, how you perceive it, what is this picture about? Please write in the chat box. I think you might have perceived already that this is a unisex salon, and here you can see that this unisex salon, we need to have unisex terminology, gender neutral terminology, because that if we use that, maybe we are going to eradicate the dominance and difference thing in language use. Next. What kind of strategies can be planned for this, that we should give equal education opportunities and job opportunities to both the genders? We should give them right of expression, eradication of stereotypes, and there should be open-mindedness in the societies and communities for both the genders, and there should be application of gender neutral terminologies, and there should be shift of power dynamics depending on social context and individual agency in particular area. Next. So, and there are few feminine kind of societies nowadays, they where gender roles are not clearly defined, and there is no very little gap between male and female values. But we don't want we don't want that there should be only feminine societies only, or there should be masculine societies only. No, we don't want it to be titled as feminine or masculine. It should be gender neutral. uh, like uh, like individuals, both genders should be cooperative and competitive, and there should be a quality relationship there, and there should be no conflict between them. There should be no difference or dominance thing should be there. So that kind of environment should be encouraged, that kind of culture should be encouraged, and that should be imparted in the upcoming generation, the boys and girls in the societies. So that is all about what I want to say here, that as language evolves to become more gender neutral, the dynamics of power and dominance that have long been tied to gendered language will begin to dissipate. And for that, we all need to collectively do some efforts, and that will definitely lead us towards a more harmonious and inclusive society also, where language is no longer a barrier but a tool for connection and understanding. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Shalini, for that very informational discussion. It's truly that language is still our powerful weapon in communication. And of course, I do believe with what you said that we should eradicate the gender stereotyping and become more gender neutral when it comes to gender discourse, or any speech or any communication that we are in. So once again, I am encouraging everyone to kindly post your questions in our chat box so we can ask them to our guest speaker today. So let us have some guests from IELTA to have their feedback, comments, suggestions, or whatever that they want to say. Let us have here. So we have here a lot of Dr. Shalini. We have here a lot of comments from the comment section. Very informative webinar. So can we have Miss Juliana from IELTA to have her feedback, comments? Or let us have Dr. Afshin. Yes, Mr. Rodolfo Dizon. You're raising your hand.
Hello, hello,
Yes, sir.
hello. Is it possible to ask the question live, not not to chat? Is it possible to say it now?
Yes, sir, you may do so.
All right. Thank you for the presentation. Well, I'm from the Philippines, and uh, the presenter mentioned about Deborah Tannen's theory of language and gender. But I would my concern because that theory is focused only on men and women. So I would like to ask, how can we make it gender inclusive if the members of the LGBT community are not considered?
Yes, that is a very nice question. Because they also have a different kind of vocabulary, and they are marginalized at various levels. So I actually wanted to include this also in this, so that is applicable on them also. That like nowadays, the current generation, the coming generation is quite open for LGBT community also, and definitely they will have something in hand, that they will give them also equal platforms. Many societies, many nations, many communities have already started giving them rights of equality, and other rights also, rights of expression and rights of good education also. So in a way, this thing will gradually, but it will take time. Change is a gradual process, so it will take time to include them also completely in the mainstream, but gradually it will happen. We are hopeful for that.
Yeah, so thank you for that. I agree with you. So I believe it's also fair that we also study their language so that we can better improve the theory of
Yes.
language and
The,
gender.
the
Thank you
very
for that.
first thing is that we have to make them educated, because still now they were not even given the rights of proper education in the mainstream societies. They were not even given the job opportunities in mainstream uh, communities and societies. So the very first two things have to be done, then only they might be able to stand, and these kind of differences and dominance thing will be eradicated with them also.
Okay, so thank you so much, Dr. Shalini and Mr. I think Mr. Rodolfo from the Philippines. Okay. So any other question?
Please invite the board members.
Dr. Afshin, are you here? Can you share something?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Hello. Yes, I just, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I just joined the webinar in the middle, and it was wonderful listening to Dr. Shalini, and I congratulate Dr. Kalyani and IELTA India. And of course, the moderator is also doing her job very well. And thank you so much, thank you so much, everyone, for attending IELTA webinar. And special thanks to IELTA India team. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Afshin. And do we have here Dr. Neil before we have our selfie time?
Is there Miss Juliana here? I saw her.
Miss Juliana, are you here?
She's not. No.
Wait,
You can
I
go for
think.
a selfie.
Okay, so if there are no questions left, so once again, thank you so much, Dr. Shalini, for giving us a very informative discussion, and thank you for participating. So I am encouraging everyone to kindly turn on your cameras so we can have our, of course, selfie time with our IELTA India as well as our guest speaker. Everyone, can you turn on your cameras and have your smile ready? Okay, so I am seeing some some of you are turning on their cameras. So wait, let me change the perspective in my laptop. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile.
Just wait. Everyone is turning the cameras. Just wait for a few seconds. We can see the beautiful places for few seconds.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. So we have three tabs here. So keep on smiling. Okay.
Hey,
Okay, ma'am. Oh, Dr. Neil is here.
yeah, please invite after this.
Thank you so much, everyone. So do not leave yet, because we still have what they call that, certification link to be posted here after. So Dr. Neil, can you share something? I'm inviting Dr. Neil on the stage or on the virtual floor before we say goodbye
Hello.
and thanks to everyone. Okay.
Hello. Can you hear me,
Yes.
Erica?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Erica. Thank you, Dr. Kalyani, for this excellent webinar organized by IELTA India. Thank you so much to all the participants, and a special thanks for our speaker, Dr. Shalini Yadav from India. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. We appreciate it a lot. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Neil. So at this moment, I think we don't have any questions left. So we can proceed with our felicitations. So let me invite on the floor, of course, our IELTA India president and our country and ambassador, Dr. Kalyani Rao. But before that, let me share a short profile about her. She has total of 18 years of experience with a dual post-graduation in HR management and development. She is an IBDP CAS coordinator, a global edu environmentalist, and Six Sigma Green Belt vice president with a global partnerships with Bharat Ecom India. She is a climate reality project leader, a blue consultant of Oceanic Global USA, a country ambassador of T4 Education and SPSC UK, a global climate action facilitator in the Climate Action Project and Goals Project in the USA, regional partner of India for the Global School Alliance in UK, international coordinator in India, ECO Act as Sustainable Leadership Training Organization in the USA, Indian representative of Maxer Education Institute in UK, a Global School Alliance, and a regional partner of UK, and of course, a project head of SATBA, Suchana Global SDG Project, Blue Ocean, Earth Day 2022 and 2024, First Climate Boot Camp for Teachers in India 2024. Let us have on virtual floor, of course, our very own Dr. Kalyani Rao.
Thank you, Erika. Could you play the PPT or shall I?
I'll play, ma'am.
Okay, let me
Okay.
share. Will you able to see the screen?
Is it visible now, ma'am?
Yeah, you can go to the next slide. Can you reduce the screen? I mean, that screen dimension? Yes. No, just close it. I'll open the screen here. Just close it. Close it from your end. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
So can you see the screen now from my end?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much for giving me opportunity to share these felicitations of today's honorable speaker and for you itself and the participants. Here comes our honorable speaker's certificate. Before that, I would like to thank our board members for giving us such a beautiful comments. And also, I would like to thank all the participants for for sharing their knowledge and even interaction. With their comments posted in the chat box. I've seen a lot of countries are being participated, and we thank you for giving a little time for us on this weekend. And this is the certificate we would like to honor to Dr. Shalini ma'am, Shalini Yadav, Dr. Shalini Yadav. And she is really a kind of person which I know her since long time. But the first time when I asked her, she said yes. Thank you, ma'am, for this today's webinar with a lot of information about the social linguistic and even related certificate of excellence goes to the honorable speaker and recognition of your exemplary delivery of knowledge transfer and countless presentation skills as an honorable speaker during IELTA India's webinar series number 9 titled as Gender Discourse, Prospective and Possibilities in Interactional Sociolinguistics, held on 6 July 2024 virtually at 6 p.m. IST. We would like to express our gratitude for your immeasurable support, valuable time, and engaged the participant throughout the webinar. Appreciate your insightful guidance and enthusiastic cooperation. Awarded this certificate on this today on the virtually on the Zoom via Zoom, and this has been duly signed by Dr. Neil Arvalo Alcantara, who is an ALTA International President, and also Dr. Glenn P. Corsanzo, IELTA Academic Director, and of course, it's IELTA India President. Then goes to the moderator, our youngest moderators today, Miss Erika Yuan E. Rubio. So this is the certificate of recognition for your moderator role today, and recognition of your outstanding and exemplary contribution as a moderator at IELTA India's webinar series number 9, titled as Gender Discourse, Perspective and Possibilities in Interaction Sociolinguistics, held on 6 July 2024 at 6 p.m. IST virtually. We highly appreciate your deep involvement in this virtual session with your special, unique style of moderation, supporting us with your endless energy levels, incredible team spirit, and wonderful coordination throughout the webinar. Awarded the certificate on 6 July 2024 virtually via Zoom. Of course, duly signed by our Dr. Neil Arvalo Alcantara, and who is the president of IELTA International, and Dr. Sanzo, IELTA academic director, and Dr. Kalyani Rao. It's nothing but me, myself, and I am the IELTA India president. And then finally, I would like to display the participant certificate. This is the certificate you will be receiving. We are going to post the link after the vote of thanks, so kindly be with us. And this certificate will reach you in 10 to 15 to 20 working days, but mostly we will send it as early as possible, and maybe couple of days or maybe within a week. But our deadline, a request for you, hold on patiently till 15 working days. We will send it to you. So these are the few announcement I would like to share with you, which has happened in the last month. And this is the first one which I would like to share is collaboration. So we have been, IELTA India collaborated with the school, SFS school, St. Xavier Francis School of CBSE campus in Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh state, in India. And also we are about to collaborate with Anil Nirkonda Institute of Technology and Sciences, which is a reputed college in India. I mean, in my city, Visakhapatnam. So this is one of the phonics session which we organized recently in SFS school in the city called Visakhapatnam, and she is Miss Swati. She has done a very good phonics mastery workshop for 2 days on 5th and 6th June from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Extraordinary session in live. We have done offline it is. So around 40 to 50 teachers attended this program, and we have concentrated even on each one-on-one to session in the second day. So some of the glimpses I just want to share with you. Just one page. Yeah. So this is this is the, one second. So these are the few glimpses of that workshop. And there is a lot of activities we have given, even group activities, individual activities, and even we have explained about IELTA India, IELTA International Board, and how we are working and what is the process, how we are developing the language. For the two teachers and students' perspective. And this is the group picture after the end of the session we have the second day. And then vote of thanks. I request Erika. I think now it's your chance to vote of thanks. So I'm going to stop here. Over to Erika. Thank you so much, Erika, and all the participants once again.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Kalyani. So for the vote of thanks, let me have on the floor Dr. Satya Pani Kumari. She is the head of the English Language Department of College in the Anil Nerukunda Institute of Technology and Sciences at Visakhapatnam, India. She has a double PhD. She is a double PhD holder, and she has attended 39 national and international conferences and presented papers. In her 27 years of experience, she has got the Best Teacher Awards, Excellency Award, and NPTEL Discipline Star. So let us have on floor to have her vote of thanks, Dr. Satya Pani Kumari.
It's Satya Funny, PHA, Funny, not Ha, Ha, Funny.
Okay, it's okay, Kalyani. No problem, Dr. Kalyani. Thank you, Erika, for this wonderful introduction. Good evening, good morning, and
Can we see you if you don't mind? Your
good
mobile.
afternoon.
We can't see you, ma'am. Are you there? Can you start your
Yes.
We can't
Yes,
speak.
no, I am not getting permission from this new
No, no, you are a
uh,
co-host, ma'am. You are a
tabs.
co-host. You have a permission.
So actually, my tab is not working properly, Kalyani.
Fine, carry on, carry.
Uh, good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, everyone. I am greatly honored to say vote of thanks on this fabulous occasion. Our resource person, Dr. Shalini Yadav, has provided a deep and insightful exploration into the fascinating realm of gender discourse within interactional sociolinguistics. On behalf of everyone present here today, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude for sharing your expertise and perspective on this thought-provoking topic, Dr. Shalini Yadav. Uh, so, on behalf of IELTA, I really appreciate your inner thoughts and your presentation. Your discussion has illuminated several key aspects, the intricate ways language constructs and reflects gender identity, the influence of societal norms and expectations on linguistic behavior, the dynamic interplay of power, agency, and resistance in gendered communication, and dominance of language used by gender, the evolving landscape of gender discourse and its implications for societal equality and understanding, linguistic distinctions, femininity and masculinity being apart polar, one overpowering and the other submissive. Your insights have not only enriched our understanding but also inspired us to critically reflect on how language shapes our perceptions and interactions. We appreciate your dedication to advancing knowledge in this field and look forward to continuing the dialogue on gender, language, and society. Once again, thank you for your enlightening presentation. We are grateful for your time, expertise, and the meaningful discussions you have sparked today. Uh, Next, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to all the audience who participated enthusiastically from different places throughout the world. My sincere appreciation goes to Ailta and Dr. Kalyani Rao for organizing such a wonderful webinar. As we conclude today's session, let's carry forward the insights gained and continue to explore the evolving landscape of gender discourse within interactional sociolinguistics. I thank the organizers of IELTA for giving me this excellent opportunity to say out of thanks. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kumari, for giving your insights.
Thank you, Erika.
Okay, so for our participants, I have posted here the certification link so you can fill it out with all the necessary details. And just like to remind everyone that you will be receiving your copy of the electronic certificate after 10 to 15 working days. So you can just check your email. And once again, so thank you so much everyone for participating. And of course, IELTA India for hosting this webinar. And thank you again to our guest speaker, no other than Dr. Shalini Yadav, for giving us a very insightful and wonderful presentation. And just like to remind everyone that we should start to to have this more open-mindedness, and of course let us be more gender neutral when it comes to talking with everyone around us. So of course we should be polite and respectful. So once again, thank you so much to the IELTA board members, to all our guests from different countries for gracing us and for spending your precious time here to be with us today. So once again, um thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Shalini, Dr. Kalyani, Dr. Afshin, Dr. Neil Arevalo, Dr. Ma'am Juliana, and to all our guests. So once again, before you leave this Zoom meeting link, you may now fill out the certification link that I have posted here in the chat box.